I'm
Rawr!
angry about cats.
When did we all get this dumb? Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cats.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef. Come on, man. Use your brain. The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now. All right, it's the Why I'm Angry podcast. Working on getting a little message sent out to everybody. If you want to support us, click the link in the comments being sent out right now. Gonna be about a half an hour tonight, and then if you guys want to get on and find the rest of it will be in our podcast. We podcast our distribution companies out of Spreaker, and that will continue the podcast on. You'll get to listen to what I do here on the show, and then you'll also get to see or get to listen to the rest of the broadcast. So you'll get to hear the rest of what I have to say. Before I go any farther, this is Aaron. I'm the chef, and we're here in the Freestyle Man Cave studio, podcasting from the Freestyle Creative Group headquarters. Freestyle Creative Group is our production company, and then we also distribute through Spreaker. If you go on and you listen to your podcast through Spreaker, that gives us an extra boost. And there's also a support page for us if you want to help us out, $2 a month. And it gets you some archived podcasts, gets you some extra podcasts. And then also, this week, or next 2 weeks from now, I'll be doing like live coverage of the election stuff and things like that. So you'll get that also. And then just everywhere else, just make sure that you're getting on our podcast and you're listening to it and taking care of things like that. And follow, like, and share. It's the free way to keep us in the algorithm interwebs and keep us anytime you see us on social media or whatever, or follow us, or just share it out if we have a funny comment or something like that. Or if you really hate us and you want all your friends to hate us, share it out. Get it out to everybody. And honestly, you wouldn't be the first ones, and probably won't be the last to hate us. But we love you, and thanks for sharing out the hate. So get on, listen to this, and then we'll have the rest of it on the podcast, and you can listen to it there. And you know, somehow I lost my. Oh, there we go. Lost my background here. Um, but yeah. So 2 weeks till the election here. Thought I'd get on. I found a couple good cheat sheets, and I'll add those also to the comments so you can kind of follow along. It's a pretty decent website. It talks about kind of conservatism, where we're at, who we're fighting, and how we're. Oops, that was not the right. Yep, wrong website. For some reason, it brought up my support page. There we go. Copy. Gonna paste this in here. All right, pasting it in there. There we go. Sent out the message. Sent the message to the wrong place. Let me get on X here. Send out a paste. And then we're also going to so yeah, get on this little cheat sheet I've got out there, and you know all of that'll help you kind of know what's going on, how's it going, all that kind of thing. and from there, so that you can be the most informed. And that's really honestly what we're working on here, is to make you guys the most informed you can be. And as long as you can make the right decisions, um as long as you make an informed decision, I don't think you go wrong, even if it's one of those deals where we don't agree. If we don't, no big deal if we don't agree. um Again, what is going on here? No big deal if we don't agree. But at the same point, if you made an informed, well invested decision where you went on and you figured it out for yourself, then I have no qualms. I have no problems with you, you know. But if you just went on and voted the party line, or you just went on and listened to everyone else that's trying to sway you one way or another, then there's an issue. So tonight we're going to kind of go over some of the different states. I know I've got people that listen from kind of all over. I looked at the map, and India is even. I don't know what your elections look like. I'm sorry, but you can hear and listen to what we're looking at, and find it from there. So 51 elections, which is 50 states and the District of Columbia. I did see on the others that Puerto Rico has are asking the residents whether they would prefer statehood or independence or the third path. I would figure that the third path is to stay a not state, just a district or a territory of the United States. Honestly, right now, other than not having a vote, they got a pretty good deal. I don't know the exact what's its and who's its of their deal. I'd have to look it up, but they're getting covered under the United States for protection. They get some subsidies and stuff like that. When there's a natural disaster, we send aid and help and send the National Guard and FEMA and all that good stuff to them. But they don't have to deal with all of the other stuff, statehood stuff. They can kind of run themselves the way they want to run themselves, as long as it follows under the Constitution. So I don't see, I don't see where I would want to be any more than that. But let me, yeah. So that's one interesting path. Um, on the others, kind of West Virginia has an amendment 1 on prohibiting physician assisted suicide. So I kind of I kind of wonder, is that not been the case? Have we been allowing physician assisted suicides in West Virginia? I know that was a big thing. Um, Maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was a doctor, Dr. Kevorkian, who I think in the Ohio, Kentucky area was helping and doing assisted suicides for elderly people or people who were on, they were terminally ill. Ooh, that was tough to say for some reason. But I think that when they finally tamped down on the laws and they finally arrested him and things, and just pushed on him, that kind of subsided. Missouri is legalizing sports betting. They have an amendment to do that. Maine is trying to green light a new flag, which is kind of cool. I guess, if you didn't like the original Maine flag. Um, Colorado is trying to ban slaughterhouses in Denver and the manufacturing of and sale of fur products. They're going vegan, guys. Denver is going vegan. Colorado in general is trying to ban trophy hunting in the state. I was just talking to my stepfather, and he was actually saying that the state of Ohio, because of the drought, there's a larva that they were getting, that the deer were getting, and is killing hundreds of deer. They said in the two small counties that they're in, that he hunts in, there was close to a little over 100 deer that have died in the last just like month or two here. The where he hunts, they were saying that at least a dozen were dead in the herd that they manage. Um, and this is a live herd that can go wherever it wants to go. It just happens to live on the property, on the so many acre property that him and his friends, his lifelong friends, have hunted, and so they responsibly wise, they're not going to hunt the property. A lot of big bucks went down, and so they're managing it, and I think that's honestly where, even trophy hunting, where you go and you hunt elk, or you get on a property and you hunt big big deer or something like that. Um, Most of those people who manage those properties, they manage the herd. They raise so many, they put so many more out there, that kind of thing. That it's almost gotten to the point where it's a lot like cattle. Um, they just go out there and hunt them. It's like workout cattle or something like that. You go out and you work out and you hunt them for sport. And not that I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, obviously, if I'm out there and I'm hunting for sport, I'm also hunting for food. And hopefully I get something, because I'm going to enjoy the hunt, and I'm also going to enjoy the food that I eat afterwards. So I think that's that's a better way to do it. But I think also that, if you're managing it, it kind of doesn't matter as much, why you're hunting, because you may be, if you're trophy hunting or you're hunting for sport, you 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 may be helping thin the herd, or you may be, that kind of thing. So California, and this is all the odd other topics, has a pretty complicated one. It restricts AIDS Healthcare Foundation and how they can spend its money, largely in a bid by the landlord lobby to kneecap an organization that's pushed for rent control and resisted some of the developmental projects. Basically, it sounds like that it is a retaliatory proposition, for the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, not allowing some developments to come through, land developments, and resisting rent control. I don't know why they would, but maybe it's because that their population, their people, they're lobbying for the people that use it. So you never, you never know where it's going to come from, but you do know that it's going to be uh, shady dealings. So, um, so to get into the real meat and potatoes, the Senate, Democrats are likely to hold. It says Democrats are likely to hold 42 seats, and the GOP seems like it's going to hold 46 seats. If you think about that, that's not quite 100 seats, which there are 100 seats in the Senate. So that that gives you about what 12 seats that need to be kind of accounted for. Um, so on that list, there are about 9 seats. One from Arizona, Michigan, Maryland, Montana, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, and West Virginia that are Democrat held. We are fighting a long held Democratic seat in Ohio. Um, and I think he's going to hold it. He's got a good following. He's got a strong campaign. He's got all the dollars behind him. And the guy that they ran against him is a good guy, Bernie Moreno. Like the guy, he's a very intelligent guy. He's run his own business, all kinds of things like that. But they've run a good campaign against him, honestly. And unfortunately, he hasn't gotten out in our area, and maybe that's because he's got a good idea that he's gonna get the votes because one, he's a Republican and we're a very conservative area. But he, I just I just don't see where he takes out the incumbent, you know, and where he just beats Sherrod Brown. I just don't see where he gets the vote, the population vote, in the major populations. Sherrod Brown's been here almost 50 years, and it's time for him to go, really. But I don't think they're going to beat him. I just don't. Not because he's so great, but because I don't think Bernie Moreno was a strong enough candidate. They needed that, almost Dr. Oz style candidate, that somebody that had some oomph for following to them before, they went into the primary. And they had one guy that could have probably, had that backing. He just didn't get the backing in the primary, and I don't know. Maybe he didn't run very well. I didn't follow the primary enough, I guess, to know exactly. I mean, we talked to some guys on the ground and stuff, and they like this. They like Bernie Moreno, so maybe he's got the money because he uses his own money in the campaign. That's one thing I think that the Republicans need to do better, is that on these kind of campaigns where it's tight, or where we could get a big upset. Um, they don't throw tons of money at it, and I don't know why they let the Democrats throw tons of money at it, but and then they don't do it. But yeah, so those are kind of the 9 big holdovers that we could win, and would basically, it's a 2-for-1 deal. You switch out one, you get 2 spots. So at if we have 46 seats and we get one of these spots, that's 47 seats, but that's 1 seat less that they have also. So that's it's a 2-point deal. But so I don't know a ton about the other ones, but GOP held spots: Florida, Nebraska, Texas. We can get into more about those seats later, but just know, if you're in Arizona, Michigan, Maryland, Montana, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, or West Virginia, those are big. Those are big election spots that we could gain seats. as a conservative, we can gain footholds, and that helps us get things done. If you're in Florida, Nebraska, or Texas, get out there. It's super important to keep those seats. We can see what a deadlocked or even a small majority does. It doesn't do anything. We haven't pushed or done much of anything. So make sure that you're out doing those. Getting those votes in and keeping the the dream alive, I guess. So U.S. House, um, there's a couple of things. Basically, a seat is included if rate in this deal if it's rated unsafe by one of the kind of outside polling areas. So, like, I guess it's Cook or Crystal Ball or Inside Elections. It's funny that Crystal Ball does stuff with the elections also because they do a lot with the recruiting process in college football and college sports and stuff. So all Democrat held districts carried by Donald Trump in 2020. You got the Arkansas AL. You got the Maine District 2. You got North Carolina District 6, North Carolina District 13, and North Carolina District 14. You got Ohio District 9. And then you got Pennsylvania District 8 and Washington District 3. And those are the ones that are kind of those are the ones that Donald Trump held in 2020, but now have a Democrat holding them. So then we have Democrat held districts that were carried by Joe Biden in 2020, but these are competitive battles. So we've got the California District 9, California 47, California 49, Colorado 8, Connecticut 05, Florida 9, Illinois 17, Indiana 1, Kansas 3, Maryland 6, Michigan 3, Michigan 7, Michigan 8. So 7 and 8. Minnesota 2, Nevada 1, Nevada 3, Nevada 4, New Hampshire 1, 2, New Mexico 2, North Carolina 1, New York. So a lot of seats. The Ohio 3 or Ohio 1 and 13. Couple others. New York 3 and 18. Oregon 4 and 6. Might as well just finish it out. Pennsylvania 7 and 17. Texas 28 and 32, and the Washington 8. These are all seats that are competitive. So they were held by Joe Biden in 2020, but now they're competitive. There's an actual election going, and they're actually close races, or they're at least competitive races. Whether it looks like they're going to lose or they're going to win, who's going to win. Those are it. And then we've got all GOP held districts carried by Joe Biden. So there's another, about 15 or so more. And then competitive GOP held districts carried by Trump. And there's another about 12 or 15 that are up for grabs. Nothing in Ohio that were held by Trump that are up for grabs. Nothing in Ohio that was up for grabs by Joe Biden. So, congressional wise, that's kind of your congressional rundown. If you have a congressional race going on, and which you should have at least one person that's running, then make sure that you know who you're voting for, and that. So right now, The race for 270 for the president, um, it looks like Harris is likely to win 225 electoral votes, and Trump is looking at about 219 is what they're polling right now. And that's before the eight swing states are counted. So they're saying that you will get. They're saying that most likely Harris gets Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, which is another 44 votes. So that would put her at 169 or 269. And then they're saying that Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, probably Trump. But with that would be then 30, 47 more votes. So 47 more votes would give him 166 or 266. And that would so right now they're basically saying that they're dead even. Nebraska's second district could give Kamala Harris one vote, which would give her the 270. But so I mean it's that tight. This is if you haven't voted, if you haven't gone out and voted before, this is the election to go out and vote. Every vote is the most important election that we've ever been through. So every vote, every election cycle is for our future. So every election cycle. So it's silly to say this is the most important vote we've ever had. Well, obviously, because we're putting the leader of the free world into a seat for 4 more years, 4 years into the future. Which if they were to get elected twice, is a generation. 8 years would be, they would basically see the end out of a generation and see the coming of a new generation. So make sure that you're getting out and voting. Big governor races. We've got a lot of GOP governors out there right now. Indiana, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Utah, Vermont, West Virginia, all GOP held governors. So make sure you're getting out there, holding the line, and we can stand to get Delaware, North Carolina, and Washington. They're all Democrats held right now. I could not. I don't see Washington ever coming to the Republican or conservative side, but you never know. If you're in Washington and you think that there's a chance, then hit me up and let me know what the chance is. So North Carolina, not a bad chance, not a bad chance. And then Delaware again, it's a lot of Democrat held area. So we're most likely we have a chance to pick up one. Most likely we stay this way, or somebody slides. West Virginia is always a good swing. um they got a lot of Democrats held congressional seats, so they can always be kind of swung, but normally in West Virginia your Democrats are more conservative. Um so there's some big seats that could flip. in in your legislative chambers. Um, the Arizona Senate and the Arizona House could flip um, to Democrat. They've kind of been showing their hand over the last few years. New Hampshire's House and Senate also could, and that would be a big, strange one to me. Pennsylvania Senate, Wisconsin House and Senate, those all kind of came over with the with Trump as he took some of these states that you wouldn't have thought. There was a good run for for them, and they're kind of sliding back to old ways. So there are a few Democratic ones that could slide. Maine, Maine could slide. Maine is kind of its own weird cosm. Maine is, some of the people in Maine are the nicest people you'd ever meet. And then, but for some reason, when they vote old school Democrat. They haven't 100%, or they're coming around to the fact that you know the Democrats of old are not the Democrats of old. And it's becoming younger, and so you're seeing a change in the Democrats, but there's also some good old home values there, and so you're seeing some changes in Maine. Michigan, you're seeing some fed up people. Some people, like, you see what's going on in Detroit, the resurgence of power, resurgence of strength and stuff in Detroit, and that's not because the Democrats have taken your guns and taken your power. That's some fed up people deciding they're going to do something about it. So Minnesota, both state and house. I don't know about that one. I don't know. Nevada, Pennsylvania again. I it would be interesting to see it flip both ways, one to the other, but I feel like it's more, flip from the GOP to the Democrats on in Pennsylvania. They just they don't have enough area or enough population that just holds it. So there are a couple Democrat supermajorities that they could get. California, they could win a supermajority there. Delaware, Nevada, Vermont, all really super liberal states. GOP supermajorities could come into play in Kansas, Montana, Nebraska, and North Carolina. And for Kansas, Montana, and North Carolina, it could be in both House and Senate. Nebraska, just the Senate. So, let's see. They have a list of key um, legislative districts, and we kind of went over like where they were and stuff like that. Let's look and see if this is. This is gonna be too much reading, so I'm gonna leave you up to it. Um, and then so so then there was some other interesting just referendums. So I went on to they have some lists, some titles of different referendums, like what they're about and stuff like stuff like that. And the first one I got into wa- was abortion. And if you've been around a while, you understand, you know where we're at on it. But it was interesting to see what what states were doing what. Arizona is establishing a right to abortion access, Prop 139. If you're there, um, so that would establish the right to have abortion. San Francisco, Prop O is shoring up local protections for abortion rights. Again, making sure you have access to abortions. Colorado is establishing a right to abortion access. Florida, or Amendment 4 would be establishing a right to abortion access, and that would overturn a 6-week abortion ban. Maryland, their question 1 is also establishing the right to reproductive freedom, including abortion access. Missouri, establishing the right to abortion access. And this would also overturn a state ban. This is kind of what happened in Ohio. Ohio put through I think it was a 6 or 8 week ban or deal on abortions. And with that, they also, so the Ohio State Congress or House um, wanted to make it harder for them to do it. They put forth an amendment issue to make it a supermajority. That failed. They won with about 56%, so that supermajority bill would have covered it. But that's what's happening right now, is that they're now establishing a right to abortion. And although we don't believe in it or anything like that, it was sent from the federal government, which we believe the closer it gets to you, the better chance you have of really making sure that this thing um gets decided in your way, in the way that you feel is the most. So so that's just part of it. And so it looks like as you go down through, um most of it's about abortion access, establish rights to abortion in Nebraska, Nevada, New York, protecting people from discrimination on a number of grounds, including ethnicity, sexual orientation, and reproductive health. Um, so if you've now had a reproductive health, oh, how do you know somebody's reproductive? How can you, anyhow? South Dakota, again, establishing abortion access. And the only one that I saw was Texas. Amarillo, Texas is trying to ban people from traveling out of state for abortion. So I think that honestly, I don't know that I'm for the travel of abortion and stuff, like you can't travel to get an abortion, blah blah blah. But I do think that, you know, again, as you kind of go through these things, that you decide it here, and then you let people do. People are going to do what they're going to do. Kind of like, we sign all these gun control bills, and still the bad guys get guns somehow because they're. But anyhow, so. Well, if you're watching us live, or you're watching this in the afterwards on one of our sites, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, any of those places, I appreciate you guys checking us out. And this is it. Go find the rest of the podcast at our pages, um, at our podcasting sites, and you can hear the rest of it live, or hear the rest of it on our podcast starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Friday mornings at 5 a.m. is when we shoot our podcast out. I appreciate you guys getting on and checking us out. Um, unfortunately, right now, because we don't have a lot of following, we've got to kind of circle the wagons and bring that in. So this is a great advertisement for us to have some following. But then we need to shoot you guys to the places where we get some advertising dollars. Unfortunately, like I said before, I can't do this all on my own. And right now, with me just being here in the studio, and my money is what's funneling through to keep us going. Um, that's what we just got to do is get you guys getting more information and more from us on the places where we can control it. So come come get our podcast. It's going to be a full podcast with everything going on, and we love you guys, and we'll kick you guys out and come back. We'll see you on Friday. All right, if you're still here and you're not getting kicked off the stream